I'm Ryan.
And I'm Shane.
And welcome to Top 5 Beatdown, a show where we compare top 5s for topics that seem completely asinine, yet somehow garner strong opinions. And to add some fun to the mix, we compare our top 5s to that of a special guest. Today's topic is Top 5 Best Worst Movies. And today's special guest is one of the Try Guys and host of the Guilty Pleasures podcast. Please welcome to the Beat Zone, Zach Kornfeld!
Yeah, baby.
Question, in other episodes you call it an expert, and in this episode you called it a special guest. So I'm just wondering what the fuck's going on.
We realized that we had more friends than experts in our community. Okay. So we realized we needed to rebrand. You happen to be a friend and kind of an expert.
Yeah, a frexpert.
You know?
A frexpert, yeah.
An emphasis on kind of.
I'm stoked for today. I love talking about movies, especially bad ones. As fellow cinephiles trapped in this perpetual hell we call YouTube, I'm stoked to see your list.
We love film.
Zach, could you briefly explain what the Guilty Pleasures podcast is? Because I think it's uniquely suited for this listing.
Yeah, I have a podcast called Guilty Pleasures where we celebrate the uncelebrated. The best movies that you know you shouldn't love, but gosh darn it, deep down, they mean so much to you. We're really trying to thread the needle here today. To be considered the best bad movie, right? You have to be one of the worst. Critically panned, usually commercially panned as well. You need to have an intentionality in your filmmaking that this is great, right? It can't be schlocky for the sake of schlocky.
Is that required that they have to be great? Because I don't know that any of the directors of these films that I picked were thinking, this is gonna be incredible.
I think they would think that. I don't think anyone sets out to make a bad film.
Well, get back to me after you've seen my 5.
Should we just get into this then?
Oh.
I feel like we've set the stage.
Yeah.
Let's list.
My number 5, you knew it was gonna be on this list, had to get it out of the way nice and early, Tom Hooper's Cats. A movie with a 19% Rotten Tomatoes score. A film with no buttholes, unfortunately.
Not one to be seen. No. I've looked.
No, Shane
I've slowed it down and gone frame by frame, and they did the work and got them all out of there.
I've seen him do it. He did it with one of those glasses that people look at rare gems with. Yes. You know, like the ones that have the magnifying on
right.
it.
A film that was called The Literal Stuff of Nightmares, and that Ty Burr of the Boston Globe said, "Oh God, my eyes." Great bad film, a film where everyone was swinging for Oscars. Every single person involved in that film thought that they were gonna be raking in the gold. What we were left with was one of the most cinematic abominations ever created. It is a disaster from the opening frame to the ending, but by the time Dame Judi Dench looks you in the eyes and sings about how cats are not dogs, you're gonna be a changed person.
I think anytime a director could get Dame Judi Dench, who, if you don't know, one of the most respected actors in the game, if you could get her to lick her elbows and butt, I think you're doing something right.
Does she lick her elbows in that?
She does. She licks her own skin.
She lifts her leg. And
like a kitty cat.
It's about a bunch of horny ass cats who are all having a giant orgy and competing for death. That's the movie. Also, anytime that there's a big dance scene, that's an orgy.
You know, I will say this, Zach. This is my one criticism. That was lovely how you laid out why this is one of the most horrifying films ever made. But why is it good?
Have you heard of trauma bonding?
You mean like what the trench warfare soldiers went through in World War I?
The people you see cats with, you'll never forget. That's a bond deeper than blood.
My number 5 is Phantom Menace. Now, now here's the thing. I could see how this may not be one of the worst films. It has a 51% on the RT, you know?
Is that about as high as you go on your list?
That's as high as I'm gonna
go. It better be.
All right. The beginning of the journey of young Anakin Skywalker under the tutelage of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Qui-Gon Jinn.
Tutelage?
That's right. And here's a Rotten Tomatoes review from Evan Dossie from the Midwest Film Journal. He says, one of George Lucas's creative high points, an excellent look at the failings of a society on the brink, the original subversive Star Wars story. People who love Star Wars, I feel like, they either hate this movie or they love it. But if they hate it, boy, do they really hate this film. And I gotta say, I'm gonna say something that's gonna piss all of them off.
Oh boy, here he goes.
I get it. The characters are hollow, they're wooden. Qui-Gon Jinn, was it Liam Neeson? Liam Neeson, I don't know why I blanked on Liam Neeson, one of the most famous men on earth.
You're doing a great job. Yeah, Ryan, you're doing good.
Liam Neeson.
We're all enjoying your list. It's really
We're very proud of your list.
Liam Neeson.
No, you're doing so good, Ryan.
Hey, let me fucking finish, Zach! Liam Neeson. I get it. He fucking drones on and on and on about like prophetic Jedi sayings, and after a while we get it. You're fucking wise, you have a ponytail, sure. The setting, the plot, it's all kind of strange, but it gave us pod racing.
Pod racing.
And it gave us one of the greatest lightsaber duels I have ever seen in my entire life. Sure, are they doing weird ass crouching tiger flips? I guess. When you match this up next to the lightsaber battle between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader in A New Hope, it makes no sense. They're not even in the same universe, but I fucking dig it.
I'm trying to remember, what scores are we introduced to in this movie?
I'm glad you asked that, Zach, because that's the ultimate segue. This film introduces us to Duel of the Fates, one of the greatest pieces of film score history ever introduced to the medium. I mean,
it's a banger. It's a banger.
It's a great song.
It's really nice stuff.
All right, let's move on to Shane's number 5 now that I'm sure I pissed everybody off.
My number 5 is...
Hey! You know, Shane's a good guy.
Now, I actually put this on in the 5th slot. I didn't chime in too much when you were showing off yours, because unlike the rest of these, I'd be hard-pressed to call this a bad movie. A tribe of cats called the Jellicles must decide yearly which one will ascend and come back to a new Jellicle life.
Is that a Shane original, or did you just...
No, I just copied them from IMDb.
Gotcha.
Evan Dawsey of the Midwest Film Journal calls it an invigorating failure, one-of-a-kind filmmaking.
Yeah.
I was dazzled. At one point...
Did you watch this alone?
No, Sarah was with
God.
me,
Okay.
and about 20 minutes into it, Sarah just turned to me and she said, I mean, I'm reverent. And I said, yes, they made what they wanted to make, man.
I don't think they made what they wanted
Yes,
to make.
they fucking did.
I don't think Rob Marshall intended for this to be what it was.
This is my boy Tommy Hooper.
Tom Hoops.
Oh, you're right.
My boy Tommy Hooper, you piece
Best-
of shit. Put some respect on his name.
Yeah, I forgot. He also talked about he talked about how it wasn't exactly how he wanted it to
Well,
turn out.
whatever. I loved it.
He went straight from the King's Speech to Cats,
Yeah,
right?
That's right.
Yeah.
He won Best Picture and said, I'm gonna go for the deuce.
And the tap dancing on the railroad. I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
That's,
the little cockroaches singing and dancing.
Skimbleshanks the Railway Cat.
He's amazing.
Didn't you say you wanted to bang that little cat?
I'll bang most of them.
Skimbleshanks can get it.
Yeah.
He's fucking hot.
I wouldn't even call myself a furry, but I think those cats are pretty sexy.
I think when you say I wouldn't call myself a furry, you're already putting yourself into the category.
I'm just putting it out there.
Taylor
I wouldn't
Swift
call
has
myself-
cat boobs.
She does.
Oh, yeah.
At one point, Idris Elba's wearing a
getting him.
big fur jacket, and
Yeah.
he takes it off. And he looks more naked than any man has ever looked in any movie ever.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
My number 4 is George Lucas's original turd, Howard the Duck.
Oh my God, I've actually never seen this
Me
film.
neither. I've only seen grotesque images from it.
A film that was called As Bad As You've Heard, Actually It's Worse, and a film that Gene Siskel asked, who was this stupid film made for? The answer, Gene, is me. It was made for me. I didn't choose this movie because I like to watch it. It's punishing, but I think that it is historically important. The year is 1980-something. George Lucas is on the tails of releasing the biggest franchise of all time. And a movie executive who did not greenlight Star Wars got into a verbal argument. He said, no matter what George Lucas brings next, we have to greenlight it. He made this.
Well, you also got to know, this is in the cocaine 80s. This is when all of the movies were high concept because everyone was just fucking hopped up.
And it kind of looks like the day after cocaine. It's dark, it's sad, there's no serotonin to be found. It is a kid's movie that is horned up beyond your wildest belief.
Is he a horny duck?
Oh, he's a horny duck. Can I hear someone say duck boobs?
What? Wait, with duck?
That's right. Within the first scene of the movie, you see a duck woman
Yeah, I kind of figured he'd go straight to the
topless,
I mean, I'm gonna look too.
pleasuring herself in a bathtub.
Howard the Duck.
Wait, what was this rated?
It's a kid's movie.
What the fuck?
The plot of the movie is Howard is trying to screw Marty McFly's
Oh my
mom.
God!
Get
You
show
gotta
the
stop
crew.
staring at the duck boobs. They're
Those are full-on duck.
Those are duck honkers.
This movie is like actually important to my makeup as a creative person because I think it shows, one, that the auteur theory is bullshit.
Yes,
but I think
yes.
this movie shows what happens when too many people say yes to you. And we see this with every great filmmaker. They knock it out of the park, and then people go, they are unquestionable, their shit don't stink, let them do whatever they want, and they make Howard the Duck. This is a film that society needs.
Yes.
So that's very big of you to use one of your slots on a warning.
Real quick, and you see those duck boobs, you will never forget.
I've seen them.
I've seen them, and
they're burned in.
I wish I hadn't.
A lot of my movies are horned up.
Yeah.
I'm realizing.
Well, I'm excited.
I'm excited for those duck boobs to watermark everything I see with my eyes for the rest of my life. All right, number 4 is Batman and Robin.
That's at a 12%?
That's a 12%, deservedly so. This film is horrible. Batman and his rubber nipples take on Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy. Robin's there too.
And Batgirl.
Oh, that's right, Alicia Silverstone.
Alicia Silverstone.
This comes from Peter Bradshaw from The Guardian. An amiable, almost farcical Batman episode with George in Nespresso mode. One of the worst incarnations of Batman I think I've ever seen. He does have nipples that are very pronounced. Speaking of nipples, we're on a nipple train, I guess, here.
All aboard.
Welcome to the nipple episode.
Yeah, that's the thumbnail right there. I gotta say, still, some of the best one-liners from a villain I've ever seen. Chill out.
Chill out.
Chill out. There's a great scene where he turns an entire ballroom into a hockey rink. There's penguins that are like,
Nice to meet you. Yeah, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Also, it's got the juiced up Bane who can barely string a sentence together.
That's right, that guy's fully roided up.
You know what I like about both of these is that these are movies that you loved as a kid.
Oh, loved them
And
as a
then you
kid.
grew up and you were told, Ryan, you're not actually supposed to like these movies, and you said no.
I'll tell you what, though, and this is not to discredit, I think Joel Schumacher knew what he was doing with these movies.
Because he's a campy filmmaker.
Yeah,
This is camp incarnate. The reason why people don't like this film is because they go, well, that's not who Batman is. But Joel Schumacher, like, he delivered the goods.
Yeah.
Paul Dano, he'd mentioned that the reason why we keep making Batman movies is because you reinterpret the material for the time that they were made in. It was a campy, shiny version of superheroes that we were seeing on screen at that time. They're not gritty and dark like they are today. And I think if you look at it through that lens, you could appreciate what this movie was for the time that it was made in.
All right, well, that was invigorating, and I thank you for sharing your list with me.
All right, that definitely did not feel hollow.
I honestly love Batman and Robin. That's an inspired choice. I wish it was on my list. My number 4 is Congo.
Okay.
You seen Congo?
That's the Michael Crichton property.
You haven't seen Congo?
No.
Oh my fucking
I haven't
God.
seen it, but I have read the books.
Ryan reads. He just wanted to let us know that he reads.
Congo.
I'm smart.
When an expedition to the African Congo ends in disaster, a new team is assembled to find out what went wrong. Desson Thompson of the Washington Post describes this as the least interesting adventure ever filmed. This comes on the heels of Jurassic Park, when the world had Michael Crichton fever.
That's right.
And they were really trying to capture the magic by digging into his library. And Congo is sort of like Jurassic Park, but with monkeys. And again, people in the comments are gonna be like, that's a chimp, that's an ape. They're all monkeys. There's one monkey named Amy.
Glad you squashed that. Glad you nipped that in the bud. That would have got out of control.
There's a monkey in there.
If anyone comments that, you say, shut up.
Shut the fuck up, they're all monkeys, okay? And we love them. I think a monkey rips someone's tongue out. There's hippopotamus attacks in it. It sucks.
Well, the reason why it actually somehow works is at the heart of it, monkeys are scary.
It's like one of the first times I remember walking out of a theater and being like, I mean, was that bad? Was that not good? As a child, you go to the movies and you're like, wow, it's magic!
No, it's amazing. It's an
And then there's
amazing
a certain
experience.
point where you see something and you're like, well, hang on a sec. Are these not all bangers?
Yeah, that awful moment when you realize movies can be bad. Let's move on to Zach's number 3. Oh, actually, before we get into the top 3s though, let's have a word from our sponsors. Oh, didn't even see you there. I was just busy using Babbel, one of the world's top language learning apps. You know, it's a new year, and if you've been putting off that learn something new resolution, this is your sign. There's a ton of reasons to learn a new language, but for me personally, I've always wanted to be able to travel confidently and connect with people while I'm there. Babbel has really helped me work towards that goal. Once I saw that you could start speaking a new language in just 3 weeks, oh boy, I was in. The app is super fun to use and offers lessons that actually prepare you for practical conversations about things like travel, business, and relationships. For example, right now I'm learning French, and if I need to grab the check, Babbel has already taught me how to ask, "La addition, s'il vous plaît?" Pretty good, right? Plus, even if Babbel didn't work for me, there is a 20-day money-back guarantee, so I didn't worry about taking the plunge. For anyone who wants to learn, I seriously recommend Babbel as a jumping-off point. Click on our link below for 60% off your subscription today, and let us know what language you want to learn in the comments below. Thank you to Babbel for sponsoring this video, and now, back to the show. Wow, thank you for supporting this very important work we're doing over here at Top 5 Beatdown. Zach, let's move on with our number 3s.
My number 3, the modern classic, Little Italy. Little Italy is the Hayden Christensen, Emma Roberts rom-com slam that takes place in Little Italy.
Wait a second.
Toronto, Canada. Romeo and Juliet with 2 dueling pizza shops, but way better. Now, I put in this movie on my list because I think this has the makings of a modern cult classic, and I want to be on the right side of history here. A movie described as a Hallmark movie that somehow got a theatrical release, and that Avril Halley asked, is this a real movie? It is teeming with just the most over-the-top stereotypes, but they sound like they're New York Italian.
I want to start my own shop.
What?
It's about time.
But it takes place in Canada. Hayden Christensen, not Italian. They dye his hair jet black. This is a rom-com with absolutely no charisma whatsoever.
I love
which
that.
is wild because Hayden Christensen and Emma Roberts did get together behind the scenes and I believe destroyed Hayden Christensen's marriage.
What?
Yeah, little sizzling behind the scenes action.
Yowza.
The comedy that it's swinging for, it's going for uproarious laughter. I mean, look at that poster.
Oh no.
It has a quote in the movie that I had to write down. Maybe it's called Little Italy because nothing ever happens here.
That doesn't even make any sense.
It sure doesn't.
What?
Yeah, that's not.
Or is it because no one ever leaves? Either way,
It's not
it's
profound. That also
doesn't make
doesn't make any sense. It's neither of those are profound at all. Well, let's move to my number 3. My number 3 is Cats.
Oh, well, I never.
19%. I was playing it coy. I was playing it coy. All right. You know what? Let's get to the goods here. This comes from Deborah Ross, who liked this film, top critic from the Spectator. The film is flat without any of the camp, kitsch, high energy that characterized the stage show, but its wrongness is nevertheless mesmerizing.
Yeah!
I will say this was one of my favorite movie-going experiences of my entire life, and I mean that. I saw it at the Alamo. They have these things called rowdy screenings, which is basically you're encouraged to talk at the screen, sing along, say dumb shit, and Mari and I, this might be the most high we've ever gotten in public, to be honest.
Yeah.
I just remember the opening sequence starts, and it was fucking horrifying. I felt true fear, and I said out loud in the theater, holy shit, this is horrifying! And everyone in the theater was like, yeah! And then, cause there's that scene where like there's a cat kind of like crawling, and the music is so fucking ominous. Like, no one ever talks about how ominous that original score actually is.
I don't know what instrument it is, but it's unnerving.
It's like it's a scary like organ kind of sounding. This movie's horrifying, we've already said enough about it, but
Have we though?
one of the funniest movie-going experiences I've ever been to. Anyways, let's move on to Shane's number 3.
My number 3 is Mac and Me.
Okay, the E.T. ripoff, let's do it.
This was a staple of my childhood.
Oh, fuck yeah.
He looks like E.T., but somehow uglier. He looks like a little booger. An alien trying to escape from NASA is befriended by a wheelchair-bound boy who falls off a cliff at one point. It's pretty funny.
It is pretty funny, it's the clip that's always playing during Conan.
I mean, that may be the craziest clip in the movie. There's a lot going on in this movie. He loves Coca-Cola. There's an extended dance sequence at McDonald's featuring Ronald McDonald.
Yeah.
This film famously sponsored by McDonald's, so you get a lot of product placement just.
And they gotta be also sponsored by Coca-Cola, because like throughout the movie, they're like, he needs Coca-Cola!
That's pretty
Give him
funny.
Coca-Cola or he'll die! I think you see his family in it as well.
Shane pulled his phone and it was still on duct tapes.
Yeah, sorry about the duct tapes.
Yeah, well, you know.
People are familiar with
Oh my
Mac, but they don't know about his parents, who are equally
Just awful.
yeah, they're no good.
They look like ball sacks.
They do.
look like a testicle.
A quick review that I really loved from Scott Weinberg of eFilmCritic.com. Quite possibly one of the worst movies of the past 435 years.
And I do want to give Shane credit here. The lowest rated film so far. All right, let's move on to
So
Zach's
good.
number 2.
My number 2 is Old Dog.
Oh shit, he
That's
came
a
for
stinker.
Shane.
The 5%.
Got that $5 footlong there.
A film that was so poorly received by critics and audiences alike that it canceled Wild Hogs 2. Old Dog stars John Travolta and Robin Williams as two important business dudes who become the unexpected caretakers of twin children. Old Dogs does to the screen what old dogs do to the carpet. It's unfortunate that only the latter can be taken out and shot. This movie feels like there was a gas leak and they still showed up to set and filmed every day.
Yeah.
There is an unconfirmed rumor that this was actually a hard R film that tested so poorly that it was sold to Disney, chopped up into parts, and re-released as an 82-minute movie. It is quick, it is wildly inappropriate, but then kind of skirts around it. There's this one phenomenal scene where they mix up their drugs, and it causes them all to have these horrific Joker smiles, including the children. This is the
Oh my.
Truly, genuinely, I think this movie is so enjoyable. I would watch this any night of the week. It is an absolute misfire on every level of comedy, so much so that you are doubling over in laughter despite yourself.
All right, let's move to my number 2 here. Oh my God,
I'm very excited.
I almost want to switch my number 2 to number 1 right now.
That's never happened before in top 5 history.
You know what?
Ryan, you can't do it.
I'm
Ryan,
doing it.
You're crazy.
I'm doing
Ryan.
it. I'm gonna switch my number 2 to number 1. I'm gonna take off my number 1 right now, and it's actually gonna be my number 2.
This is unheard of. This is history.
My number 2 is
Couldn't even do that.
Kung Pao Enter the Fist.
I knew you would, Ryan. Thank you so much.
I almost put that on my list.
Same.
And that was the one I was like, Ryan's gonna have this on his list.
I invited Ryan onto Guilty Pleasures to do this movie, and he said, I don't know if we can do that.
I don't know. I don't know. Here's the thing. Is this movie problematic?
Yes.
Maybe. I don't know. But I'm Asian. This movie takes an old school kung fu movie from, I believe, the 70s, redubs all of the characters, makes a completely new plot, takes the director's face, and CGIs it onto the lead
how they did it?
of the film.
They shot some inserts, but for the
No
most part,
kidding.
it's heads on existing footage.
And what's crazy is the lead of the old kung fu film that this movie remixes, that person who was the director and the star of that film is a consultant on this movie.
Is he really? I didn't even know that. That's
Which
crazy.
makes it a little bit better.
There's this scene where they toss a baby,
Yeah.
and it's rolling down the hill for,
Probably about a minute of screen time.
60 plus seconds. And then it gets to an impasse, and an old woman's crawling, finds the baby.
She picks up the baby and she's like, oh, so cute. Bye-bye. He tosses it back down the hill. I loved it as a child. All of me and my cousins would watch the shit out of this movie. We still quote this one line in this movie. There's a scene in the movie where the chosen one, who's the name of the protagonist, is walking into town preparing for the final battle. He goes up to this marketplace vendor and says, I'll take a pound of nuts. And the guy,
We don't know where this is going.
I know where
Ryan.
this is going.
and the guy responds by going, a pound of nuts? That's a lot of nuts! That'll be $4, baby! You want fries with that? I think I might have rewound that scene 100 times in my entire life.
The Godfather can never do that.
No,
you
it
know?
can't. It brought me and my cousins together for
yeah.
generations.
All right, my number 2 is Dunstan Checks In.
Let's go.
There's a monkey on screen.
Yeah, a very
for-
monkey-heavy list. Yeah.
I don't know how many times I have to say it, I love monkeys.
You do
I
love
think they're really
monkeys.
funny, they're funny in film. What happens when a little monkey checks into a 5-star hotel? Well, he turns it into a 3-ring circus, that's what. Let's leave a little review on this one. Ken Hankey of Mountain Express says, depends on your orangutan tolerance.
It's kind of sort of the same plot as Mac and Me, which is the same plot as E.T., but with more shenanigans.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
it's hotel shenanigans.
Kid teams up with a critter that he shouldn't have, and it changes his life.
Yeah, and this monkey should not be at this hotel.
No.
And I'll tell you what, and this should come as no surprise, in the middle of the film, they're reassessing the hotel's star rating. Obviously, if there's a fucking monkey running around eating cucumbers off of people's eyes and causing havoc at a gala, that's gonna knock it down a star or two.
Actually, off the top of your head, who is your top monkey protagonist of all time?
Dunstan.
Dunstan, really?
Yes.
Not King Kong or
Fuck King
Caesar
Kong.
from the Planet of the Apes trilogy?
No. Dunstan's really,
There's
really
so
funny.
many monkey protagonists now that I think about
None
it.
of them are as funny as Dunstan.
King Louie from Jungle Book?
No way, Dunstan.
That's a supporting character. You
Yeah,
watch your mouth.
That's true.
I mean, obviously, I'm
He has
not
a whole
gonna.
musical number.
You know, when I think really hard about it and drill down, it might be different. So you'll have to watch the top 5 monkeys episode.
That's right. All right,
Number one.
Let's finish it off. Number 1, Zach. Please.
You're not gonna know it. Or you will, but it's
Maybe.
not what you think. My number 1 is Sleepover.
What the fuck?
This is one of my favorite films in cinema canon. Thank you, Joyce. I see that quiet clap off camera. Alexa Vega's best friend is moving town, but before she leaves, on the cusp between middle school and high school, she wants to help her get to the popular kids' table.
That's sweet.
So they're gonna engage in a scavenger hunt against the popular kids to get that seat. Along the way, they're gonna run into shenanigans. You know I love shenanigans.
Yes, you do.
There's gonna be tomfoolery, and maybe, just maybe, Alexa's gonna bag Steve Phillips, the hottie McHottie of school. Okay, here's why this is a 15%, is because this came out, I think, 2 months after Mean Girls, okay?
Oh, boy.
And so Mean Girls comes in and rewrites the teen girl comedy playbook, right? And then this comes out and they go, this is trite, this is played. But you know what critics do? They look down on things made for little girls. That's what they do. They stick their nose up, because they're a bunch of old men. They're not hip. This movie fucking slaps.
Yeah, but like, Mean Girls was also for young
Mean Girls can
ladies.
suck it.
Mean Girls is pretty good.
Yeah, and this is better.
All right, that is a hot take.
They called it a lazy attempt to snare some pre-adolescent allowance money. Sleepover earns a little more than a few bored yawns. You watch your mouth.
Nasty.
Wow, that's crazy.
He said to my face, a waste of hard-earned allowance? I think you're a waste of hard-earned air.
Oh shit.
God.
You've got a young Steve Carell, Jane Lynch,
Hey.
Evan Peters.
Okay.
Evan Peters is in this movie?
Evan Peters is in this movie. Brie
saw that in
Larson,
theaters, yeah.
pre-nose job. I'm just saying.
I didn't even
you're-
know that was a thing.
She looks different.
It
This
sounds
movie
fun.
was so formative to me and my buddies, we showed it to his older sisters. They said, scavenger hunt seems dope. We should make that. And by the time it got down to my grade, the scavenger hunt was like a fabled tradition in my town, where each year we had a huge list, you stole stuff, the cops got pissed, it was awesome. I love this movie. If you know, you know. That's my top 5.
I don't.
That's a deep cut and I love it.
Let's go to my number 1.
One.
I confused myself. I was like, what's this doing here? I forgot, I audibled. Anyways, my number 1 is Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls.
Wow. I mean, yes.
This has a 21% on Rotten Tomatoes. How? How? Zach, you're gonna love this review. This comes from Cole Smythe from ColeSmythe.com.
Big fan.
The entire review is a guilty pleasure.
True. True.
Well said. This movie made me laugh harder than I've ever laughed in my entire life. To this day, when I'm feeling down, I will fucking dial up on YouTube the rhino scene, which I don't think there's ever been anything funnier on screen. The setup, fucking brilliant. Ace Ventura is this pet detective. He's trying to get some recon on this guy who's doing some shady business. He makes this mechanical rhino so that he could listen in on this conversation. He gets the info and he's like, all right, time to get out of this rhino. He goes to open the rhino, the handle breaks. His only option is to climb out of the rhino's asshole. It actually, I think the shot is Jim Carrey in close up and you see like a beam of light hit his forehead and he turns.
One of these, like, no.
Yeah.
A safari tour pulls up and this mother and these yuppies pull out and they go, oh look, the mother rhino's giving birth. and they watch this horrific scene as what they thought was this rhinoceros giving birth to a baby rhinoceros is in fact giving birth to a fully now naked Jim Carrey. He gets like half his body out, and for whatever reason, he makes this crazy like primal noise that's like, it's the fucking funniest thing I've ever seen. And I still watch the rhino scene to this day. I watch it yearly. I actually watch that scene at least 2 to 3 times a year.
Christmas morning?
Christmas morning, Mari and I's anniversary, we put it on in the background.
That's how he proposed, actually.
Exactly.
He got a rhino and crawled out of its ass.
That's right. Let's go to Shane's number 1.
I love it. I respect both your lists. I'm having a blast. Now, my number 1 is... Look who's talking now!
Apparently nobody, 0%.
0%, which
The lowest score of the day.
This happened to be my top one, and I did not anticipate it to be a full 0. The dogs can talk at a family of 4, where mom loses her job the same day dad gets a job as a pilot for a cute single boss. Even a bad log line here. Srita Kempley of the Washington Post says, a crude and mawkish film in which dogs attempt to communicate with Kirstie Alley and John Travolta. But
I think the first one begins with sperm swimming.
It does.
Yeah,
it does.
That's like, that changed how I see things.
Yeah,
in
and
the
you can
world.
hear them all sort of going like, let me get in there. No, it's my turn. Then at the end, John Travolta almost gets killed by wolves.
Okay, well, I like
A whole
that.
pack of them, but the dogs save them.
Do the dogs learn to work together?
They do.
Oh,
well,
love
so
that.
Diane Keaton, the bitch dog, and I say that because that's technically what she. I think Danny DeVito at some point is like, "Why you gotta be such a bitch?" You know?
Isn't that redundant though to
Yeah,
say bitch
sort of,
dog?
a little bit, yeah. But she frames him because she's tired of him being such a nasty guy, so she eats all the shoes, and they're like, you know what? That's enough. You're out of here. And they, John Travolta kicks him out. And then John Travolta almost gets killed by wolves, and the dogs save his life. And then in the very final scene of the film, they reveal that Santa is real.
Oh!
Wow, this is all over the place. How many times have you seen this film?
Like a few dozen, I think.
Yikes.
I think
a lot.
it was just on TV a lot when I was a kid. Check it out. It's a full 0. Absolute.
That's hard.
Absolute pile of piss, this movie. But those dogs are funny, If you ever think, because sometimes you look at your pets and you think, what are you thinking? Well, this answers the question. Well, this has been an absolute treat.
Thank you guys for tuning in to Top 5 Beatdown, and thank you again to Zach for coming along and bearing your truth.
Thanks for having me.
Is there anything that you want to point the folks to at home?
Yeah, come on, check me out at Guilty Pleasures Podcast. I've got episodes with these fellas.
Anywho, you could also check Zach out on youtube.com/tryguys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you comment and chime off whose list was the best, whose was the worst, maybe some particularly choice selections that you liked or disliked.
Get your friends together, watch Cats, and then stay for the old dogs.
That's right. I like that.
And make sure you laugh your dick off watching Ace Ventura.
The dogs talk.
Say goodbye to your dick.
That's the list. Jesus Christ! That's the list.
Jesus Christ.
That's the list. Once again, thank you to Babbel for sponsoring this episode of Top 5 Beatdown. Remember to click on our link below for 60% off your subscription today. And he talks shit while he's, wow, it's really
Rain's really coming down. Someone call up Hillary Duff.
The cinema gods are frowning upon me right now.